days of yore. Why should I stay in a love song? What hasn't been said
Good evening. Welcome back to Veiled Mysteries, and thank you for spending a little bit of your evening here with us tonight. And tonight we'll be covering and uncovering the mysterious town of Cassadaga, Florida. Cassadaga gained its notoriety as the psychic capital of the South after a northeastern specialist was spiritualist. Northeastern. What's happening? After a northeastern spiritualist was spoken to by a Native American spirit to go seek out a plot of land in the South where he grew a community of others just like himself. Today, Cassadaga is the largest encampment of psychic mediums and spiritual healers in the world, and is said to be a vortex where the veil between the living and the dead thins. The town is just a few streets long, with a main street where three main buildings sit: a hotel, a bookstore, and the town post office. The locals are kind, the landscapes are picturesque, and the vibe is off. Taylor and I got to visit it for ourselves last week and discover and experience what some of the truly strange things that is otherworldly. As always, viewer discretion is advised. Episode 6 of Veiled Mysteries begins right now.
The following program contains conspiracies and true crime from around the state of Florida that may not be suitable for all audiences. All personal opinions featured in this episode should not be taken as factual evidence. As always, viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Veiled Mysteries. I'm here live with Taylor Edwards, Veiled Mysteries chief correspondent and legal analyst. I do want to apologize about the beginning of our show. Let me tell you, from start to finish, putting this show together, something weird is happening in Cassadaga. Something weird followed us home, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to have a short package. By short, I say about 15, 20 minutes. Where we kind of documented our experience at Cassadaga, and putting that together was crazy. Taylor, you saw it today too. It wasn't compressing properly. I wasn't able to put it in my editing software. It has been a mess from the start. As well as you were sick several days after Cassadaga. Yes. Like, something happened to us in Cassadaga. Something
followed us home.
Yeah, something weird is going on there. So we'll just roll with it. See what's going on. My teleprompter was all messed up.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, so we'll just see what's going on. So welcome to the show. Thank you for bearing with us while I have a stroke on live stream. Taylor, if you want to go into a little bit of what Cassadaga is, we'll start from there.
Yeah, so we'll start kind of with the history of Cassadaga. So as Brandon stated in the intro, if you were able to catch it, it is the psychic capital of the world, is what it's known for. So just in general, the origins of spiritualism began in 1848 in Western New York with two sisters, Margaret and Kate Fox, who claimed that they could communicate with the spirit of the murdered man through mysterious knocking sounds in their home. And then going from there, Cassadaga was founded by a gentleman named George P. Colby. So Mr. Colby grew up in New York in a Baptist family, but well into his teenager years, is whenever he really became interested in spiritualism and following that. And he began traveling as a trance medium, conducting seances and lectures across the country. And within these spiritualist circles, he was known as the seer of spiritualism. So the story that kind of changed everything for him and really started Cassadaga is in around the 1870s, he was in Iowa conducting and attending seances, and he encountered a Native American spirit, named Seneca. Seneca told him, allegedly, to travel south, keep walking until you find a place surrounded by unusual rolling hills, and build a community where people could safely study spiritualism. So that's what he did. He traveled south. He found this little town in Florida, and that's where he kind of set up shop. He claimed the land through homesteading initially, and then throughout time, it kind of grew from there. In 1894, the Southern Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp Meeting Association was officially chartered. And in 1895, Colby deeded 35 acres of land to the association, which has later expanded to roughly about 57 acres, which is what it sits on now. The weird thing about it is that George Colby, although he founded it, historical accounts indicate that he began to grow disillusioned with the administration and internal disagreements that were happening in Cassadaga, and he actually left. He left the community completely, and he lived nearby in New Smyrna Beach, and then he ended up coming back to Cassadaga towards the end of his life, where he eventually passed away. So it is recognized in the National Register of Historic Places, which is pretty cool. And the district has approximately 65 historical buildings. So just knowing what we saw when we were there, I'm assuming some of these are the homes that are throughout Cassadaga, which the Victorian style homes that are there, they actually are lived in, and that is where the mediums practice. So that's who lives in those homes. And then from there, we have some famous landmarks within Cassadaga. We have Hotel Cassadaga, which we will see in our little vlog that we did. It was built in 1922 and originally opened to house winter spiritualists that came. And it's not large at all. Mm-hmm. Very odd layout, no front desk. So we'll talk about it a little bit more after you've seen the video so you can kind of understand. But just so that way, going into the video, you're not kind of confused on all these buildings you're seeing. That one has a big sign out front. I know, but. And then we have the Colby Memorial Temple, which is the main spiritualist church. And it is a practicing church. So they have church services, healing services, demonstrations of mediumships, and there are also lectures that are held there. Excuse me. One of the most famous urban legends, which Brandon has actually seen, I believe, the Devil's Chair.
Yes.
Yes, he has actually seen it. I have not. It is located in a cemetery. I do not go near cemeteries.
Yeah, we did not go to the cemetery. I will say you're not missing a whole lot in the cemetery. Besides Mr. Colby being buried there, I think that might be the coolest thing. The cemetery isn't necessarily anything to write home about. It's nothing crazy. The legend of the Devil's Chair, were you going to go into that, Taylor?
Oh, I mean, I have very, very little about it, just that it's a brick bench located in the cemetery. A lot of people say that the cemetery is not necessarily weird, but they do find it very peaceful. But again, I don't go near cemeteries. I hold my breath when I even drive by a cemetery, so that was nixed by me. But the legend... What I have is local legends say leaving a beer overnight results in it being drunk by the next morning, or that sitting there at midnight invites supernatural encounters such as the devil appearing.
Yeah, so the Devil's Chair, if you want to look up pictures of it, you can at home. There's nothing really to write home about it. What it really ended up being was it ended up being a bench for a family to visit the people that were buried there. There's two actually, and the rumor doesn't actually cover both of them. They were built by the families of the people that are buried there so they could visit them. Obviously, that's a little bit of an older school thing to have like a bench because it kind of like surrounds the tombs. So it is a little bit of an older school practice. It is an old town. So yeah, there's nothing there. I'm not saying that people haven't seen things there, but I don't think it's the legend that it is made out to be.
Yeah, I think it's more so just kind of like a scary story
Yeah.
type of situation. We have a chat that's kind of funny saying that I guess if you're a sidekick, you don't need a front desk. You know who's coming. You can just meet them on the porch.
That's fair. There is no.
And
no
then
front
really
desk
there's
there.
only like 6 other landmarks, if you even want to consider them that. We have Horseshoe Park and the Ferry Trail, which is in our video as well. It's literally just a walking trail. The ferry trail, if you will, is 0.2 miles. So it's literally nothing at all. We have Sea Green's Haunted History Museum. It's just a paranormal museum, features haunted artifacts, local ghost stories, historical exhibits, and Florida folklore, which we did not do, but we did see it. And then the Colby Alderman Park. It has a meditation garden designed for quiet contemplation with benches, gardens, and a peaceful atmosphere, which we do have footage in. I think that's where the majority of our footage is in and around, actually, which was weird. You'll see we talk about the energies we feel in there, and then we have a story about some people we may or may not have saw.
Yes.
Then you have Seneca Park, which is not really a park in the way you're thinking. It literally looks like it's someone's, like a corner of their front yard with a fountain, and that just honors the spirit guide that told George Colby to travel south. But other than that, that's all we really have. The town is named, the name comes from Cassadaga, New York, which I can only assume is because he is from New York and he is the one that did it. And Cassadaga, New York is a major spiritualist center that inspired the Florida community. And then other than that, the streets were intentionally laid out to create a quiet retreat rather than commercial downtown, which I think is mentioned in the clip. The town is very peaceful and quiet. There are not people walking around, really at all. There wasn't even a breeze until way later in the day.
Yeah.
So that was really weird because it was just kind of still. But the camp has long emphasized education and certification for mediums, reflecting its identity as a church rather than simply a tourist attraction, which I definitely do talk about with Brandon in the clip that clips, I guess, plural, that you'll see. Because in order to be a medium there, you have to get certified through their spiritualist association and go through their courses or whatever it is that they do. But
Right.
other than that, that's really all that I have on like the backgrounds and all of that. Everything else we pretty much hit on in our video, and then we can go more in depth after we've all seen it.
Yeah, so we have our brief video. It's going to be more of like a, this isn't going to tell the whole story of Cassadaga. That's what the podcast is for. This is just kind of for you to see what it looks like there and what we experienced there.
Firsthand.
We did go into the bookstore that's there. We did get some tarot cards. So we are going to be talking about those. We do touch on it very briefly in the video, but we're going to kind of do a breakdown afterwards as well. So without further ado, here is our Cassadaga vlog.
Enjoy.
Hello everyone, Veiled Mysteries on the road.
Hello.
Here we are.
So excited.
We are in Cassadaga, Florida today.
Welcome.
I'm here with Taylor, and we're gonna do some investigating and a little bit of exploring today.
Yes, I'm so excited.
We're really excited to bring this special edition episode of Veiled Mysteries because we are live on the scene.
Yeah, we're gonna
reporting live.
Gonna get a reading done, hopefully, and kind of explore the town and see what the vibe is, how we feel, what we see.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, perfect. So glad we didn't plan to be here. Hey everyone, you're on the Taylor cam. We decided we're gonna do different cams throughout. We'll see how well we follow that. But right now we are walking into the park. Not sure specifically what area. We're over by the church temple. There was just a sign that said park rules. So we're walking right now. So let's see. You can see behind me, there's just like a lot of like lush green. There's Brandon, but like, and then there's the opening of the trail back there. So right now we're just kind of following this path. This isn't the one trail I wanted to go on. We will go on it later, but right now we're just on this fun little pathway. We went to the visitor center and the bookstore. That was pretty cool. I will say, Brandon, he's also filming. Brandon did say the one time he came here, he had like a weird feeling, like maybe just like the overall energies, because there definitely is a prominent energy that is around. And he kind of like felt like his stomach was kind of upset. And the second they drove off Cassadaga property, he was fine. And I will say, I do also feel somewhat of an energy, I guess we can call it. I don't know, I just feel odd. That's the only way I really know how to describe it, is feeling odd. But yeah, we also went into Hotel Cassadaga. I think I felt the most odd there, especially when I walked down this long hallway that just had closed off rooms. But yeah, so we'll keep you updated, but that's all we've got so far. We walked to the church, their temple, but we didn't try to go inside. We weren't sure if it was open or not, but that's all we're at so far. So we'll keep you updated.
All right, everybody, we've returned back from our little walk, and
Hi.
we went back into the bookstore. We are going to go to the ferry trail, so I did get a
I'm
crystal.
not showing what I'm getting yet. I'll show that when we get to the ferry trail.
Oh, I got a little crystal that I'm going to use. Taylor's a secret.
I also have a crystal. We'll explain them when we get there.
But what we got were these blind bag
Tarot cards.
Tarot cards, and it literally says let your intuition choose for you.
So we both picked
So
one.
we're going to see what we get. I'm also nervous.
Oh,
Oh.
very different.
So I got...
Well, we have to censor mine?
No.
Okay, I got this
Lord.
naked woman.
Crazy work.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it
So mine
means.
is the world. Oh, we both are on our phones. We can't scan
Yeah.
these QR codes.
So we'll have to do a little research and report back.
Well,
But these are the
we'll
cards
report
we got.
back, but these are our tarot cards.
Yeah, crazy.
Mine is the world, and Brandon's is the Lord. Is that
The
what it
Lord.
says? The Lord and the world. So we'll keep you updated.
We've arrived to the fairy garden. How do you enter it? I'm curious to go in it. Look at the pine cones. So me and Taylor have little crystals to leave here. I did notice they put this blend of, what were they calling this, Taylor?
What?
The blend in here in the bookstore.
I know that there's lavender in it.
It's like a lavender blend. It smells wonderful, but they put it in the crystal and it like cleanses the crystal of like all of its energy, so it's just a pure energy. And I noticed in mine some of the, I have to like take it out of the bag. Some of like the lavender is inside, and I remember picking this one out and it did not have it, but you can see some of the like stuff got inside of it, and I don't know how it got inside. It's actually kind of crazy.
I got this little green one and this opalite one. And then the bookstore gave it in a little like blend with lavender. So the green little stone represents like growth, success, and luck. And then the opalite is for like reducing stress. But these little stones you're supposed to leave at the base of trees or next to stones for the little fairies to sit on.
Just because it looks like in the center there it has the directions, like north, south, east, west. So I'm gonna walk this whole thing.
So people put these little fairy houses in trees and little fairy doors. So here's one. Let me get it. So there's some right there. So you can see the two little houses and then the bridge that connects them. Super cute.
It's actually a little scary. Me and Taylor both have been saying the whole time we've been here that the energy is just, it's not a bad energy. It's like, the vibe is just different. It's not heavy, it's not bad, it's not poor, but it's just an odd energy. Like it's something that you can't really describe. It's like, my stomach hurts, but I'm not sick. And like, I feel like I have a headache, but I'm not in pain. It's like a very odd feeling. This is also crazy.
So they have those throughout. I'm excited to see where they all are. Brandon right now is walking the labyrinth. I assume that's what the labyrinth is that they say. It makes me very uneasy, so I will not be walking the labyrinth, but he is doing that for us. We'll see that on his cam.
Very interesting. Very interesting. This over here is very interesting. Not sure. There's no like, a lot of everything has like an explanation to it. This does not have an explanation to it. This is interesting. This is the, I don't know if I said it, this is the fairy garden. That's the labyrinth we were just in there. Looks like I'm gonna go meet up with Taylor over here and see what she is discovering.
I don't want to like step in it, but this looks like a little schoolhouse. Oh my god, that's so cute.
Take a video.
I'm recording now.
That's so odd.
Go ahead. Okay, there's our little fairy seats.
It's like creaking.
Yeah, I got it that time. Yeah, anytime we like go near this little one, when I was putting my little green stone and when Brandon was putting his amethyst on there, which is amethyst, I don't know if he showed you, is potpourri made it inside. And it's making like a creaking noise. Not quite sure where that's coming from, but
It's very odd.
we've successfully done the trail.
Yeah. It's still creaking.
It's like creaking a lot.
And like, it's a big tree, so like, it's not like the tree's swaying or anything.
Yeah. Even with the leaves going. But the birdhouse is like in there. Okay. Hello everyone.
Hello everyone. We are just leaving Cassadaga, Florida now. Hopefully we have good footage. I think we have good footage.
I think we have plenty, definitely. But yeah, I think we have good footage. We saw a lot.
We did see a lot. Again, the vibe is off. But it's not in a weird way.
No, the only way I can like kind of explain it is that it felt like I had like a pit in my stomach, but not of like dread or anything. It just, my insides felt weird, which is a weird way to describe things, but that's the only explanation I can give. And then there were a few times, mainly when we were around like their temple or their church, where I could feel it up in like my nasal cavity that I needed to sneeze, but not strong enough to like for a sneeze to actually come through. It was very odd. Like I could feel like almost like the very lightest, faintest sensation.
Yeah, the vibe is very strange. I think it's honestly the energy. There is an energy there. It's not positive or negative. It's just heavy.
Yeah. But not like in heavy in a bad way or anything like that. It's just, it's different. And like you can tell that it's different.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the most interesting places I've ever been.
Yeah. I agree. And it's weird because as much as like there is to see and things are catered, I guess you can say, towards tourists. Like they have the multiple parks, like the ferry trail, the bookstore, and like the welcome center at the hotel. As much as that is catered in a way, I guess, towards tourists, there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And not just like tourist nobody, like nobody in general. Streets are very quiet, nobody walking. Like it felt like I couldn't talk above like a whisper.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was disrupting like the peace.
Yeah. I think I don't think it's a gimmicky place.
No.
I don't think it's meant to be like touristy. I don't think it's meant to be like a stop for people.
I think if you don't know about it, that's it. You don't know about it.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it prior to talking to Brandon to try to figure out like things to do for the podcast, but it's very much so like far back off of like the main like road.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like one little loop of a community, and it's the three main buildings, the one big lake, Lake Colby, which is where like that was why it was founded, and then it's residential homes where they also do their psychic readings.
Yeah. the little community center is very odd.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a sub-religion.
Yeah.
In a way. Like it might be a
Almost
Christianity
like-
sect.
Think almost...
I wouldn't say cultish.
No, but think almost like Amish country. Like,
Yeah.
like that kind of vibe where it's definitely set back away from the road, but it's its own like community. That there was no grocery store in there or anything by any means, but
no
like
school.
no school, but definitely like I guess like their kind, like their community are the only ones that live there. And it's almost like people don't just go to live there. There was a house for sale, cheaper than the price of my car, $20,000 for a 2-story home. But on the sign, it said you had to be a member to not even ask about it if you weren't a member.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah. Everyone in the bookstore very nice.
Oh yeah, very. No
Very,
one
very
was
chatty.
rude. Like no one was mean. No one was standoffish by any way. And like the welcome center, which is connected to the bookstore, and the welcome center, there was a gentleman that came in, and there's a whiteboard next to. There's a little table that has like a binder of all of the psychics, mediums, healers that are in the community, along with their business cards, but there's bios about them, and like I read through them. But then there's also a whiteboard that they can come in and say, I'm open for today for like walk-in readings. So one gentleman did come in, and we did see his home, but he did come in and write his name on the board. Very nice. And like and that's where it's like so different from like a New Orleans or a Salem, where they try to like, oh, well, are you here for a reading? Like they saw me flipping through the book, and like not once did he come up and ask like, oh, are you looking for anything in particular? Are you interested in a reading today? He simply came in, wrote his name on the board, and said, have a God bless, have a good day.
Yeah.
And like that was the end of it, and he walked out. And his name, he was one in the book.
Yeah.
So didn't try to push it on me, didn't try to introduce himself at all, or be like, I'm available if you want one. Left it at that.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting for sure. I think we'll be going back.
Yeah, I do want to go back.
I think we may perhaps stay at the hotel.
Do a seance.
Perhaps. Yeah, we could do a
Brandon
group
said there's
seance.
a seance area
There is a
upstairs.
seance room upstairs. It is only open to the people that are staying there for the evening. But you can book a group seance section, and I think that would be funny to do. Perhaps we can bring Amanda along for that.
Oh,
one.
Amanda would love that.
Yeah. But yeah, any final thoughts?
No, I think it was very cool. I mean, I did feel weird. I do still have some remnants, but like whenever we were in the woods on like the trails, every time we were in like the trails, that's when I would feel. That's when I would feel the weirdest.
Yeah, definitely a weird energy, but not in a bad way.
No,
Not in a bad way at all.
just different.
Yeah. So yeah, there's Cassadaga.
There
Fun
she
stuff.
is.
There's our here we'll for our video.
There we go.
So yeah, hopefully that gave you a little bit better of an idea of what Cassadaga looks like. I've been seeing the comments on the video.
Comments are great.
The comments have been crazy. I do want to clarify, at no point did we feel unsafe. Did we feel, it was just a weird energy. Everyone there was very kind. We didn't feel even pressured to get a reading. We didn't feel pressured to even buy anything. People were there if we had any questions.
Like they, in the bookstore, like we looked around and they just stood behind the counter talking amongst themselves. No one tried to sell us on anything or anything like that.
So like at no point, there was nothing off about it other than the energy.
No, Suzanne, we did not have a reading. I flipped through the book and they have like all of their bios in there, So I flipped through the book and looked at their pictures and read their biographies, and I picked 3 people out of the book. Tried to get in contact with all 3 of them. All of them were unavailable. One of them was actually the pastor of the church that's there. So that was interesting to me. But I did not get a reading. Also, Mike, no, we did not. The only restaurant they have, Sinatra's, is in the hotel, and it was closed.
Yeah.
So either the beaver at Bucky's gave me food poisoning, or a spirit followed me home. So
that's the other thing for anyone that's like curious about this place. It's about 25-30 minutes from Bucky's in Daytona Beach. So that was our second stop.
Right off the coast.
Yeah. But I guess we can talk about our tarot cards. We have them here.
We do have
We'll talk
them.
about them and how interesting the readings actually were. We sat in the car for a minute and were kind of blown away by it, about how like accurate feeling they were. Yeah. So did you want to do mine?
Yeah. I'll do Brandon's first, and then I will go into mine. So Brandon has the Lord. So just...
See if I can
No,
pull-
Sean, not drugged, not missing any time. So just off of first looks, can you show yours one more time?
Yes.
Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
that's not what I
Failed
wanted.
Mysteries on the road.
Hello.
Here
Not
we
us
are.
again.
So excited.
We are in Cassadaga, Florida.
Stop
Let me
this.
skip to
Get
it
us
here.
out of there.
Let me skip to it here.
Okay. So Brandon's here. The Lord. So on first looks, he doesn't look like a tyrant, which I'm reading off my screen. So I might be looking a little bit further down than the camera, but this I cannot memorize. He looks like someone who has earned his authority. He isn't charging into battle. He's sitting, watching, thinking, waiting. It's intentional. His power comes from wisdom and self-mastery, not force. So the antlers on top of his head, the stag antlers symbolize leadership, nobility, protection, a connection to the wild, the changing seasons. Stags shed and regrow their antlers. So it's often associated with the natural world and the horned god. Here, the antlers suggest the Lord's authority is rooted in harmony with nature rather than domination over it. The stone throw, unlike the golden throne, this throne is carved directly from rock. That tells us his power is stable, ancient, grounding, enduring. It wasn't handed to him overnight. He has a solid foundation. The red cloak represents courage, passion, life force, protection. It billows in the wind. He's not resisting change. He's standing firm within it. The armor, he's wearing armor beneath his cloak. That symbolizes preparedness, healthy boundaries, responsibility, protection of what matters. It doesn't necessarily mean conflict. It means he's ready if it's needed. The green robe, green is the color of growth, prosperity, nature, and abundance. It's a reminder that true leadership is meant to help things that flourish. The staff represents authority, direction, experience, wisdom. Some interpretations note a lightning-like marking carved into it, hinting at willpower, insight, and decisive action. The eagle, which is flying behind him, symbolizes higher perspective, vision, clarity, looking beyond immediate problems. A good leader doesn't only focus on what's directly in front of them. The mountain represents achievement, stability, challenges already overcome. He didn't wake up on top of the mountain, he climbed it. So what this card often points toward in leadership, you may be called to step into a leadership role or recognize the leadership you already have. This is a card of creating order where there's been uncertainty. Success comes through consistency, not shortcuts. It can represent creating healthy boundaries for yourself and others. It encourages trusting your judgment and standing by your values. This is one of the strongest career cards in the deck. It often points toward promotion, taking charge of a project, managing others, building something that lasts, long-term success through steady efforts. And then one detail that stands out is his direct gaze. He's looking straight ahead, almost at you. So combined with the staff planted firmly on the ground and the antlers reaching upward, the image feels less like go conquer and more like stand firmly in who you are, build your foundation first, lead with calm confidence rather than force. So that is Brandon's card.
And to relate to how that translated to me, without going into much detail, there was an opportunity for a promotion at work. It didn't end up working out in my favor. And I found out literally just the day before this or 2 days before this. So I kind of took it as keep doing what you're doing. There's a better opportunity coming for you. And I also found the fact that this card is very striking. I think tarot cards kind of have this aura where they can be a little bit intimidating or a little bit scary. And I think the artwork on this card is actually very pretty. It's like, it's a stoic card. It's not something that's like scary. Like I know the death card kind of is like thrown around and it's like spooky looking, but I think this is a very striking card. And I think it was very, very fitting as well.
And to be specific, this is from the Druid Craft Tarot deck, Druid, if anyone wants to look it up. That's the specific deck that these tarot cards are from. So then my card, this lovely woman, for the world, not wanting to focus too much, but there's not much to it. So the overall message of the world is you've come full circle. It marks completion, wholeness, achievement, balance, a successful ending that leads to a new beginning. It's less about the end and more about graduation. The wreath, the figure stands inside an oval wreath woven with Celtic knotwork and living vines. The wreath symbolizes the cycle of life, eternal renewal, protection, unity, the interconnectedness of all things. Unlike a circle, the oval can also suggest a doorway or portal crossing from one stage of life into the next. And then the endless Celtic knots reinforce the idea that every ending becomes another beginning. The central figure is nude, which in tarot often represents authenticity, nothing left to hide, freedom, living as your true self. She isn't vulnerable in a fearful way. She appears calm, confident, and radiant. She's no longer trying to prove herself. The halo of light, the glowing light around her, symbolizes wisdom gained through experience, spiritual awakening, inner peace, clarity. It's not just about success, it's about understanding why the journey mattered. The wands, she holds 2 wands, one in each hand. These represent balance between them, action and reflection, the physical and the spiritual, masculine and feminine energies, beginning and ending. The world suggests, the mastery of these tools. Standing on the earth, she's standing above the globe, which suggests feeling at home in the world, having a broader perspective, recognizing your place within something much larger. And then, so the world card often points to completion. A long chapter is ending successfully. Achievement, reaching a goal after sustained effort. Integration, the lessons of the past are becoming part of who you are. Expansion, travel, broadening horizons, or stepping into a larger world can also be associated with this card. This is also one of the strongest career cards and can represent graduating, completing a degree or certification, earning recognition, finishing a major project, starting an exciting new chapter built on what you've learned. So about like me personally and in my personal life, I have been working at the Walt Disney Company for about 8 years now, and I am ending my journey. Actually, this is well known with people I work with, so it should not come to a shock to anyone, but I am ending my journey with the company in November, December, and I am actually moving back to Texas, which I have not lived at. I've not lived there for about 12-ish years now. So I am moving back to Texas, and I am going to start in the legal field, go into paralegal studies, and possibly go to law school. So I am going to finally, it feels like the right shift to use one of my 3 degrees. And this chapter is coming to a close, and I am going into a completely new chapter that I have only ever been living at home, in school, and then working at Walt Disney World. So this card very much so represents me and my personal journey. So it's kind of cool, kind of crazy to think about.
I do think it's so interesting. Obviously, I've had tarot card readings before, and there's a certain novelty to them. You know, like you take it with a grain of salt. It's not always very specific. It's like minor things that you can relate to, but I really feel like both of our cards like truly connected to like our situation, currently, each of us individually. So I found that very, very shocking, and I thought that was actually really cool, being where we were and the cards that we got. I think that was quite fascinating.
It also wasn't a reading with someone else. I did my research online and pulled the meaning of the cards from the specific kind of deck. So it also wasn't like sitting with someone and them kind of taking cues based on your reactions to continue telling you what the cards may or may not mean. So that also kind of, I think, speaks a lot about this in particular.
Yeah, just like a very organic, like, obviously it was a basket of, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 cards in it, and it truly was like, pick whatever one you want. They were all in this silver bag. I have my bag here. They were all in this silver bag. You literally can't see inside it.
It's completely sealed.
And it was sealed shut with glue. So I found it very interesting.
I think that was probably the most surreal thing we did and encountered while we were there.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we want to hear your thoughts. We've been reading the comments, the very spicy comments we've been reading about our trip to Cassadaga, but we also want to talk to you. Our number's scrolling down at the bottom. It's 407-801-7204. Feel free to text us your first name and where you're from. We'll go ahead and give you a call. We want to hear your thoughts on this as well. We're going to also be talking about the hotel. I took a pamphlet from the hotel, just a little bit of the information about it.
That also could be what followed us home.
Something from the hotel. Now, I did see a comment, I think it was from Sean, about the hauntings in Cassadaga. The only thing that they consider like haunted is the actual hotel. Everything else, they just kind of talk about the spiritual energy throughout the town. But the hotel, it's called Hotel Cassadaga, but the tagline underneath, it says, a beautiful historic hotel and metaphysical center. Like I said in the video, there is a seance room in the upstairs area that you're able to book group sessions with one of the psychics that lives there. But yeah, I mean, this place, it doesn't feel money grabby. It doesn't feel like a tourist trap by any means.
They didn't even have like, I mean, in the bookstore they had a few, but not even necessarily like, here's this keychain or here's this T-shirt or all of this.
And they did have like they had little branded things. They had like a little bag, but nothing like crazy branded like for Cassadaga.
No other like stores or like shops, like gift shops to sell these things.
It looks like we have a text from Jackie from Spring, Texas. We'll go ahead and give Jackie a call. See what her thoughts are on this here.
Hello.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Thanks for calling Veiled Mysteries.
Hi. So I am calling, speaking, I guess, more to Taylor, because I'm going to out myself now. I'm her mom. So the feeling and vibe that you got from there, how different was it from our trips to New Orleans when we had readings?
Completely different. It like feels like when we were walking on the streets, even though we were outside and like there was nobody around, like literally we were the only two walking down the street, I felt like I couldn't talk more than a whisper. Because the energy is so intense, and not in like a bad way or a good way, but like you can definitely feel an energy, whereas in New Orleans there are a lot of gimmick, right? Like yes, there are real people, like the lady we talked to 2 years in a row. I like have no doubt that, we talked to her and like saw her twice, like, I felt a pull towards her. So I guess, like, almost in that instance, the kind of way that I felt the pull to go towards her to get our reading the first time we saw her a few years ago, it was that times 1,000 the second we drove through the city limits.
Okay. Yep. So I just wanted to touch on that because I know we've been twice and had readings, and so I didn't know how different this felt from an actual reading.
I guess the only thing I can equate it to that, like, you might understand is the one reading you told me you had whenever I was younger, whenever you talked to someone.
Okay.
That, like, the way I
Yeah.
imagine that you felt in that is the way that I felt the whole time I was in this town.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Of course. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, it looks like we have another call here. We have Sean from Spring, Texas. Here we go. Go ahead and give Sean a call.
Hello.
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 What you got? What are your thoughts?
No, I disagree. I think y'all were busted into a sex trafficking ring.
Oh, God.
That's why it was deserted.
I don't know. We were walking, the first time we walked from the bookstore down to the church, there were, I think it was 3 of them total walking behind us, and they had a camera and they were talking about filming something, but we never saw them again.
And they didn't speak to us either.
Yeah, and they didn't talk to us either. And then whenever we walked, so there are multiple of those little pathways whenever we were in the forest, like the initial time in the video. And we walked through one of them, and we were, the pathway is very, very small. Nowhere to go. Like, you either are walking into the person or you can hear them. Like, there's no way you would miss someone. The brush is, like, grown over the pathway. And we were out maybe 2-3 minutes, and Brandon can't escape his guest relations nature, but this woman and her 2 children came, like, they were right behind us and said, "Excuse me, this is our first time here. We're looking for the fairy garden." And Brandon was like, "Where did they come from?" So
And, like, they didn't come down the same path as us at all.
And then we never saw them again either until after the tarot card readings, and they came out from behind the bookstore, not where you go inside. So it's very odd.
I'm convinced they weren't real, but that's just me.
They did disappear into the forest on an unmarked pathway to go chase deer.
They weren't mouthing "help me" under their breath.
Not that I could tell.
No.
I don't know. I wouldn't have left crystals there. They probably stole your soul.
I'm convinced something came back with me. I got sick, so
I think the Bucky's also did you in pretty good.
The beaver and the spirits.
I guess we'll find out whenever they find your car parked somewhere and your keys gone and you just mysteriously disappeared after your Cassadaga trip.
Yeah, you'll know. Yeah, the first we'll know here. Sean has called it. Cassadaga's where it's happening.
I don't know. Y'all didn't see any upside down pineapples or any golf carts driving around with different colors on them. I think they were trying to feel y'all out. Everybody was from binoculars in the windows. You're probably up on people's walls somewhere as a prospect.
Oh my God! No, don't say that. gosh.
So, all right. That was just my comment. Y'all better keep an eye on one another.
All right.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, Sean.
Bye. Whew, let me recompose myself for a second here.
God.
Oh, wow. That was good.
Oh.
My camera started following me.
Suzanne said we need to hang up on him. Gosh, yeah, Jackie, that did take a turn
Yes, it did.
very quickly.
Anyway.
Any final thoughts, Brandon? Anything else?
I don't know. I think it's such a fascinating place. I think, whatever they got going on there, they are a community. They they are they are a community, and they are obviously practicing their sub-religion or practicing metaphysical things. But it's very fascinating, and I think it's cool that you can just kind of go. You can kind of just show up. You can walk the fairy garden. You can walk into these little memorial gardens. You can go into the bookstore, talk to the people that live there.
A lot of the people, well, not a lot of the people, all of the homes that were there, like the homes that the mediums and the sidekicks live at, almost all of them had like little meditation gardens outside of their homes as well, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. I would go back. Obviously, I need a little time, but I would go back. I'm very interested in staying at the hotel. I'm interested in getting a reading there as well, especially after my tarot card experience. I'd be interested to see what they have to say. And I think another thing that is very telling about the community is, one, nothing's pushed on you, first of all. And two, they're very big into like mediumship rather than like telling the future. So like they're very big on connecting you with past loved ones. They're very much connecting you like spiritually, not necessarily
Almost
like
every single bio in the book, that's what they did.
Yeah.
Was they connected you with spirits that have passed.
Yeah.
It's not like fortune telling.
We did get a text. Let me see what it says here. Did either of you have thoughts of anyone when there?
Like, I'm assuming thoughts of like
loved ones?
Yeah, so I guess I can briefly touch on it. Part of the reason I wanted to get a reading was, God, I guess it was, let me look. 3 weeks ago today, so it would have been 2 weeks and a day from when we went to Cassadaga. My grandmother passed away. She was fighting a lot of medical stuff. She's in a better place. But part of the reason I wanted a reading was to just kind of see, without like go in there without like giving anything away, just kind of see what they said. But I definitely was thinking about her the whole time I was there. I guess I would say more than normal, but I don't know if that was me just going into it knowing that that is what this town has. And from everything I've researched, the veil, if you believe in that, is very thin there. So I don't know if that was why, but I definitely did think of her while I was there. But yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts?
I don't think I have any. I think this was a crazy turn of an episode we got.
Yeah, this was crazy. Thank you for joining us for the ride from the rocky beginning to our interesting revelations about the community.
Interesting thoughts we had.
Oh, yes. But of course, thank you, Taylor, for going on this adventure with me and then kind of breaking it down for everyone back home. We had a good time.
It was a good
lot of fun.
time.
So yeah, Taylor, we'll see you next week for our next special show.
Can't wait. See you next week.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining us for some of your evening here tonight. Next week, Taylor and I will be covering one of the most well-documented recent major crimes to take place in South Florida. 32-year-old Wade Wilson, better known as Florida's Handsome Devil, led authorities on a multi-week wild goose chase after domestic abuse and several murders of women from the Sunshine State. Wilson is now on death row in Jacksonville for the atrocities that he committed. We look forward to giving you a minute-by-minute, moment-by-moment breakdown of the schemes and crimes of Wade Wilson next Monday at 8 p.m. Veiled Mysteries is live every Monday at 8 p.m. in the East, 7 p.m. in the Mid-Region, and 6 p.m. on the West. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Veiled Mysteries Pod for updates and to stay in touch. If you have a true crime case or a conspiracy theory you'd like to see us cover, feel free to email or message me at veiledmysterytips@gmail.com. As always, ask questions, stay curious, and be informed. I'm Brendan Ward. Have a good night.